I'm Danny Dyer, and this is the Real Football Factories. I played Tommy Johnson in the movie The Football Factories, which was all about football violence. Fucking nutters. But that was just acting. Now I'm on a journey around the country meeting the real firms who have mass offs at football matches for real. No fake blood, no stuntmen, no makeup. This time it's just me and the country's hardest hooligans. I meet the real top boys who tell you the score. My journey through London's firms starts with Millwall. Historically, they have one of the most feared hooligan reputations in the country, never mind the capital. A trawl through the newspaper archives reveals an unparalleled history of hooliganism at Millwall. The old den was closed by the FA more than any other ground, 5 times between 1920 and 1978. And in the 70s, their hooligans were profiled in the first TV attempt to explain this rise in football violence.
In the trench warfare of the terraces, it's F Troop who go over the top. F Troop are the real nutters.
And I'm not going away for some dirty northern punts to spit all over me. If he spits over me, I'll put a fucking pint glass in his head.
Self-confessed loonies like Harry the dog, who go looking for fights and are seldom disappointed.
Well, we want to do a few geezers out there, like. We're the F Troop, see what I mean? We love a row, we go football. And this is it.
So we're all about the F Troop and all, Bob, like obviously proper firm, yeah? You know, you was one of the top boys, yeah?
F Troop are guys who were absolutely ruthless, a lot of them psychopaths, no fear whatsoever. You're talking about a firm which didn't have big numbers. We used to go into ends, 10, 20, 30 hand and take on the whole end.
The papers called it a terrace rampage. It was caused by a dozen or so of Millwall's nutters.
When I was a kid, I'd look at all the leaders of Millwall, the top guys, and I thought, I want to be like them. Look at the power they got. They got a big gang. They go to a pub. They don't even have to buy for a drink. If you go out socially afterwards with some of the boys, sometimes the local girls in the area, you get girls. You're a famous name and all that. It's the whole sort of. It's a bit like bling bling in a way, but to do with the football.
Bob, straight, I don't know regrets for you. Is there any regrets for the life you've led?
If I'm a time again, I wouldn't go along the same path.
Okay.
But, having said that, working class boy out the Elephant Castle, the old man take me to the club. I followed the team religiously. It's like a religion. It still is to people.
Millwall has been involved in one of the most intense rivalries in London for the last 30 years. And their hated enemy is West Ham.
Fucking mouth as usual, kiddies. Kiddie firm.
This is Fortress Upton Park, right? Millwall have come in 1978 Judgment Day. It's just pure hate, yeah. Right? This is the most violent derby of all. This is the one the helicopter was up in the air. Yeah, they're the biggest police turnout. But you want to know about West Ham Millwall because the day they talk about Tottenham as their rivals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people forget their history. It's always been them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only them.
In the world of the football firms, the ICF commanded huge respect wherever they went.
The ICF is initials for the intercity firm, yeah? It was a sinister name called call sign for the violent following of West Ham originally. Eventually it became so infamous that normal West Ham supporters adopted it because everyone just knew them by that name.
Obviously, in the early 80s, everyone give each other names, you know what I mean, or give themselves names.
Right.
Ours was the Headhunters.
How did that come about? What was it? What was it?
I don't know, to be true. I couldn't tell you who started it off. You know what I mean? If I was to say who started off, I'd be lying. But whoever came up with it, I think it was blinding. Do you know what I mean? You know.
For a section of Chelsea's fans today, Jason's achieved a kind of celebrity status. He's even asked to autograph DVDs about his hooligan career.
They should bring back the shed days. They're the best times.
Exactly.
There you go, mate.
Cheers, mate. Take care. See you, mate. Have a good day. Yeah. Have a good day, mate. Yeah. See ya.
So you was one of the top boys then, yeah?
I wouldn't say I was a top boy. I was a respected lad at Chelsea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, see at Chelsea, we're like a family. No one says, "Oh, I'm the top kiddie." You know what I mean? You just
no one allocates themselves as the top.
No, you just you have a bit of respect with each other. And how do you feel about meeting here? What do you think about this?
Becoming an hooligan, yeah. What was it for you? What was it growing up? Is it you always were violent or what? You just
what was it? I believe it starts from an early age. You know, I've always maintained that schools fight schools, different boroughs fight different boroughs, different housing estates fight different housing estates, you know, and so on. You know what I mean? Different boys' clubs fight different boys' clubs, and you know, I support Chelsea, you support West Ham. You're passionate. You're passionate about where you come from, who you support. You know, you
about
believe.
your manner, isn't it, really?
Your manner, your territory. You don't want people taking liberties.
Do you know, being brutal, mate, it just comes about, you know, it comes about through respect, and it comes about through, you know, through my actions over the years, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What no proper moment for you when you thought, right, this is a bit of me, do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you, yeah, about 10 years ago, we had it with Man City on the pavement. I remember someone turning around and saying, mate, you're fucking, that's it, mate, you've done it, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, this is me, do you know what I mean? This is fucking what I'm about, you know? And, you know, and be truthful, I set out to do that, and set out to bring our firm together.
About the Yids, where'd that come from?
Yids is something, I'll tell you something, I used to fucking despise that name, yeah? Long time ago, it really gave me the ump. It's one of them things, Dan, you know, West Ham, Chelsea used to go, Yids, you fucking dirty Yids and all that, and I used to find it quite offensive, you know?
Yeah,
and,
that's what I thought, that's how I booked it, you know what I mean?
But what it was, you know, whereas other firms had like a proper defined name, you know, like fucking, you know, Headhunters, ICF, whatever, you know, we sort of like adopted the Yids. I mean, all the barmaids used to fucking do it in the ground, Yids, and all that carry on. And as the firm, you know, progressed, and over the last 10 years, it's got stronger and closer. We have got I ain't just being biased. We've had the naughtiest firm in the country over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And you know, that name has just been adopted. You know.
Your arch rivals, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would say Arsenal. Yeah. Ain't no, is it?
No.
Ain't no, is it?
Not the firm. No.
Who would it be?
Not this Chelsea.
It's Chelsea, yeah.
Without a fucking doubt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you know, and in a way, you know what I mean. I do respect their firm because we've had wars with them for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking hate Chelsea. Everyone knows that. You know, but I respect them because we've had wars with them for the last 10 years, you know what I mean? They're the only people that have really come to us, you know what I mean? And sort of like, well, we've gone to them all the time, but anyone who's given us any competition.
The rivalry between the Spurs and Chelsea firms became headline news when they clashed outside the Ifield Tavern near Stamford Bridge. 200 of Tottenham's firm gathered at nearby pubs, then left at a given time and marched onto Ifield Road.
And Chelsea were at the bottom of the road. It was just something you fucking dream about, really, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Something I dream about, you know what I mean? Not everyone else does, you know? Give them their due, they stood their ground. But the boozer got annihilated. Yeah, there was a lot of claret about it. There was a lot of, you know, got messy. Yeah.
It's always been much tougher for the firms and all that, what with the old CCTV and the old bill and all that. Have you got your nut round that?
It's a nightmare, mate. You know, I mean, I got my nut around it, but I ended up doing 3 years inside, didn't I? Do you know what I mean? So I got put away with Tottenham Chelsea. That was all on camera. I mean, it's the operation they used to get hold of me. It was like something that you see on films. You don't think it happens in real life. I mean, there was old Bill dressed as workmen, carpenters, and all that outside West Kensington Station.
Proper surveillance.
Yeah, and then like up above the boozer we met in, it was a camera crew filming the whole thing. And then 2 weeks later, door come off, and I copped 3 years. You know what I mean? I would stress though, it's not just for the sake of having a row. It's people that know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? You're having a row with other like-minded people. You know.
Football violence provided a rich storyline for the film The Football Factory. This is where I got battered. Right here. But the reality for these football firms today is severe bird, or turning up at a police station on match day. I mean, hooliganism still exists. It may always exist. It's just it seems that Big Brother definitely has the upper hand. I think the one thing I've learnt more than anything else about the firms of the 70s, the 80s is you're witnessing a social history of working class culture. It's, you know, the lifestyle, the fashion, I mean, like it or not, it definitely has its place in that history of the capital. And I mean, if you think about it, these former hooligans, they don't need the media to tell their stories. They're becoming authors, they're becoming successful publishers. It's like the lunatics have taken over the asylum.